Hello and welcome back to Exotic Beverage Reviews. This is episode 4, and it's going to be a bit of a benchmark episode because today we're looking at one of my favourite energy drinks. Red Eye is an Australian energy drink manufacturer headquartered in Brisbane that makes a line of 5 energy drinks, 4 of which have been made pretty much constantly and largely unchanged since 1995. This review is going to be a little bit biased because nostalgia plays a big part in my appreciation of Red Eye, as it's probably the first energy drink that I consumed on a regular basis, and it reminds me really strongly of life back in the early 2000s. Hot summers drinking a diuretic energy drink when I should have been drinking, water. Driving around in my 1997 EL Falcon wishing that the bottles would stay properly upright in the cup holder. Picking up a bottle of Red Eye at the end of a long day of being a young person and not doing anything productive at all. It's a big deal to me mentally. This stuff is my happy place. Red Eye currently manufactures 4 flavours or recipes of Red Eye energy drink. There's Platinum, which we'll look at now. There's also Extreme, Passion and Classic. Just to prove that my approval bias for this drink is not towards the company itself, I'm really not a fan of Passion or Classic, but we'll review those at some point in the future and I'll give a more articulate opinion on those when we get to them. There's also a 5th Red Eye flavour, which is Red Eye Berry Boost, which is a sugar-free and either extremely new or extremely narrowly marketed drink because I've never seen it for sale in the wild yet. Just for a bit of fun history on Red Eye, I still have a few empty bottles from about 15 or 20 years ago with the original graphic design that's so adorably 1990s. 2 of these bottles are for flavours that no longer exist. The yellow label is Red Eye Plus, which had Go-To Cola as the key ingredient and had a slightly chocolatey flavour. And the red label is Red Eye Gold, which had guarana and B vitamins, and it had a very strong herbal flavour from memory. There's also a canned version of Red Eye called Red Eye Power that was quite similar to Red Bull in flavour. The brand name is Red Eye, which is a pretty perfect name for an energy drink. The red component clearly borrows a little bit of trust, perhaps, from the branding of Red Bull, the market leader for energy drinks worldwide. This flavour of the stuff is called Platinum, which is a perfectly cromulent name for an energy drink flavour, and it suggests that this particular flavour might be the top of the line for Red Eye drinks, I guess. It doesn't actually make any claims at all on the packaging beyond identifying itself as an energy drink. The label on the bottle is quite small. It literally only has the name of the drink. It says Australian since 1995, and the ingredients and health and safety information that have to be included are on the back of the label. Okay, so this is going to be hard because I really love Red Eye's branding, so I'm going to try to be impartial. The graphic design on the label is objectively great. The font choice is very close to Futura, and you really can't go wrong with Futura, and the graphic design around it is fantastic. The logo is instantly recognisable and memorable. The label shape is unique and clever. It actually tapers towards the back of the bottle here. The paper choice on the label is unnecessarily classy. It's printed on metallic foil, so the blue part of the branding for the flavour and the Red Eye logo on the label are saturated and metallic, and the black part of the label is matte. It's just really nice. The lid of the bottle is super simple. It's just the Red Eye logo against a black lid. And the branding doesn't stop there because Red Eye ships in customized green glass bottles, which feature an embossed Red Eye logo on the body of the bottle and the words energy and attitude embossed around the shoulder of the bottle, comprising 2 key parts of the slogan for the energy drink, which is energy drink with attitude. It's a great design. The warning on the label reads, "Not recommended for children, pregnant or lactating women, and individuals sensitive to caffeine." It contains caffeine. It doesn't include a recommended daily maximum dosage on the label. The ingredients in the drink are primarily water, sugar, and citric acid. It also contains caffeine, taurine. We'll talk about taurine in a later video. It's really quite a terrifying subject. It's got inositol, which is a form of sugar alcohol that supposedly increases serotonin levels and alertness. It's considered to be a mild and largely unproven antidepressant. It's also an unproven treatment for polycystic ovary syndrome, or PCOS, in women, and it's used as a nitrate in explosives, and it's also used to help plants recover from sodium poisoning. Like, you can't make this stuff up. Also in Red Eye Platinum, you will find a lot of things that start with G, including guarana, ginkgo biloba, ginseng, gotu kola, ginger, green tea, and grapeseed extract, and also a whole bunch of B vitamins. We'll actually look at ginkgo biloba in ingredient investigations a bit later in this video. But for now, let's crack open some Red Eye Platinum. It's not a can this time. Okay, this is not going to be the best description ever, and you need to work with me on this one, but it smells a little bit like vinegar, like maybe apple cider vinegar, but very sweet. So it's got a slightly sour component to it, but it's also got a very sweet component to it. Because I know this drink so well, I can tell you that the smell is not actually reflective of the flavor of the drink. Okay, so it has a sort of slightly champagne color to it. I want to call it beige, but I don't think beige is the right description, because I think beige only applies to something that's opaque. But it has a champagne sort of quality to it. All right. It has a complicated flavor. So I would say, if I had to describe it to someone who has never been anywhere near an energy drink before, I would say as a starting point, it's kind of like Sprite, but it's a little bit more sour, but at the same time also more sweet. So if you think about enhancing both of those components of it, at the bottom of all of the flavor structure in this drink is the B vitamins, which are a key component in the magical ingredients of this particular energy drink. And the manufacturers have done a great job of layering flavors on top in order to try and mask the flavors of those B vitamins, because they tend to taste kind of like rotting vegetables. It also contains caffeine and taurine, both of which are not particularly pleasantly tasting ingredients. So between the caffeine, the taurine, and the B vitamins, the recipe of the energy drink has a lot of work to do in order to make this to be a palatable drink. And Red Eye have certainly achieved that. Like, it's a delightful flavor. It tastes like about 2001, maybe 2002 to me, but as I said, I've got a lot of nostalgia invested in this particular drink. Overall, would I buy more? Yeah, of course I will. I mean, I've been buying this stuff since 2000. It's fantastic. It's my favorite energy drink. It's my go-to when I go to the service station, the gas station, the convenience store. If anything, my only complaint would be that there aren't enough places that actually sell this stuff. It's clearly distributed through a fairly narrow little network of local distribution, but it's fantastic. If you can find it, do buy some. I love this stuff. It's a delightful thing, and I do recommend. Gingko biloba is a huge tree native to China that's been used in traditional medicine for over 1,000 years. The name Gingko biloba means silver apricot. The trees are incredibly hardy, to the point that several of them were the only living things to survive the atomic bomb that was dropped on Hiroshima at the end of World War II. Gingko biloba is considered to be a treatment or a remedy for a number of medical conditions, probably largely due to its history as a traditional medicine in Asia. Among the things it claims to alleviate or help are dementia, schizophrenia, stroke, high blood pressure, tinnitus, and a litany of other things. However, from what I've read, Gingko biloba falls into the category of probably does nothing, at worst might make you sick. Modern research has largely shown no evidence whatsoever that Gingko biloba does anything to treat any of the myriad medical conditions that it's touted as a remedy for, and the list of adverse effects that can arise from Gingko biloba consumption, overdose, or allergy are actually quite significant. As far as an ingredient in energy drinks, it all comes back to that quote from Dr. Carl: "Everything's a poison, all that matters is the dose." There's not much Gingko biloba in these drinks, so as a huge generalization, it's probably harmless in energy drinks. If you consumed any of the magical ingredients in energy drinks in any significant quantity, you're likely to get sick. A drink here and there, though, is probably not going to cause any problems. I'm not a doctor. I would recommend that if you have concerns, perhaps you should see one. So that is my review of Red Eye Platinum, my #1 choice of energy drink, and the only energy drink that I've personally consumed on a regular basis since the early 2000s. It's just nice. If you liked this video, please consider sharing it with your friends, or hitting the subscribe button, or interacting with a comment or something to tell me how I'm doing. Please stay tuned for the next video in which I drink a thing and then dissect it to the point that it's no longer interesting anymore.